What is going on, fellas? And welcome back to Hungary for Success with me, FoggyPlays, on FM21. Today we're going to be taking on PEX in the league and the final group game against Shakhtar Solidarsk, where we could still potentially make it through the Europa Conference or the Europa League group stage, which is just how we've been less than fantastic in that we could still actually qualify. So if you do want to enjoy this episode, make sure to like and subscribe. It makes a massive difference to the channel. Now let's get into the video. So, as you will have seen in the intro, we are playing PEX and Shakhtar Solidarsk, where we could, like I said, qualify through the group stage, which would be exceptional. But since you were here last in the draw against Bayer Leverkusen, we've beaten Hungary, won our cup game, which actually quite close. Drew a Pushkash, but they're the draw specialists this year, and then really did not deserve to lose to Bayer Leverkusen. But Christian Mark got himself sent off just before halftime, and we were relatively comfortable at the time. As you can see, we scored a goal in the 26th minute, as did they, and then it just kind of got out of hand because they had an extra man and our players were getting tired. But then we went and beat Haladas, smashed Uj Pest. As you can see, all 4 goals in the second half. I screamed at them at halftime and it worked. Then we managed to beat Basel, Mandira scoring in the 90th minute, but Mendoza picked up an injury. I think it was in the build up for the Mandira goal. Actually, yeah, it was definitely because Mendoza had the through ball. Mandira scored it, but Mendoza went down with a broken arm or something like that. Then we went and beat Kishvarda 3-0, comfortable as always because Kishvarda not very good at the football. As you can see, no wins yet this season, 4 draws, 2 against Paks, 1 against Pech and Haladas. But as you can see, like I'm saying, Pushkash Academia, 9 draws so far this year. That is insane. They've had 9 draws. But we're sitting not necessarily comfortable atop the league. We've 1 point ahead of Fervar, 2 points ahead of Ferencváros, and then they have a 4-point advantage over MTK and Uj Pest. Uj Pest are playing Ferencváros today, so that could mix it up just a small bit. And based purely on how Pushkash has been doing this season, I'm going to say they're going to draw against MTK. But we'll show you the Europa League group as well. As you can see, Bayer Leverkusen are through, but ourselves, Basel and Shakhtar Solidarsk could all still qualify. So even a draw against Shakhtar Solidarsk, I think, is enough for us to get second, assuming Basel don't beat Bayer Leverkusen. But that's for the second part of this episode. That's not right now. They want us to make massive changes to the team. Not going to. We do have a few injuries going into today's game. Ongard and Pierilevscu are both injured. Pierilevscu is out for quite a while. Broken ribs. Ongard is just constantly injured these days. A lower back stress fracture. Mendoza has broken ribs. I thought it was a broken arm. Okay, broken ribs. Kovic is out away on a holiday because he's absolutely shattered. He's playing so much football. So much more football than he did last year. And Fekte has been actually really rather good because we did have Hudwagner and Werner both injured at the same time. And Fekte came in and played a couple of games and did quite well for himself. But we are starting with Hudwagner in goal, Vlek and Rentira as our wide defenders, aka wingbacks, Derek and Pushkash in central defence, Berkiaka and Katona in central midfield, Versace and Carlsberg as our wide men, Abe and Madeira up front. Versace, I've had a word with him. I've also had a word with Hudwagner because the two of them have been exceptionally terrible this year. As you can see, Hudwagner happy to be back into the first team. He hasn't played for 3 or 4 games. I'm hoping this game he can actually do something and not, be terrible. So we're going to win this one fairly comfortably. Okay, players not overly bothered by that, but we've managed to get people motivated and inspired. I'm going to tell the strikers want them to score goals. Abe actually has come to me 3 times recently. Oh, that's the second time Vlek has saved the ball on the line. I quite like having someone on the line in this FM. Previously, never did it because never really worked properly. They'd always keep someone on side. Abe's true, and Aguirre comfortably saves it. But yeah, like I was saying, Abe has been coming to me quite a lot saying that he wants a new contract. And every time I'm just like, I heard you want you want to talk to me, and he's like, yeah, it's great. I wanted a new contract. I don't anymore. I'm not sure if we're going to keep him beyond this season. I think we might cash in on his value. And Carlsberg, it was offside anyway, but still, Carlsberg hasn't quite come back to. Pushkash are beating MTK. Could Pushkash do the unthinkable and actually win a game? Hiroki gets it across, and Derek heads over. Yeah, we've been in decent form recently. It's not like exceptional. Like the last couple of games have been pretty good. Brokeliak, I thought he had run the ball past the player, but he gets back to win the ball. And Hood Wagner gets it clear. Abe, the tiny man, heads it down. Mandira is through. And penalty? No. I've seen penalties given for less. So part of me was like, it's probably a penalty. That's a less than good corner. But yeah, as I was saying, Carlsberg not been exceptional so far this year. Rosas, I kind of considered playing him more and more, but then Porto have their manager coming to watch us play quite a lot because they're looking at him. So I don't want to give him too many opportunities because he's probably going to be leaving in January. So I don't want to pin all my hopes and dreams on him. But Abe can play on the left, and Carlsberg was exceptional last season, and he was very good the season before. Frontiers scored an own goal. I'm going to demand more. That was just more unfortunate than anything. Pushkash have decided they want to win this game, so they've taken the lead again against MTK. I feel like they're the meme team this year. And Pax, I think, are having a poor enough season as well, who we play after the Shakhtar Soligers game. Vlek gets it across, and Mandira hits the crossbar. I do think not having Mendoza is going to make a difference, but I'm struggling to figure out if Mendoza or Mandira is the better striker. They don't seem to work too well together, which is quite an unfortunate situation to find ourselves in, where our two best strikers are very similar and don't like playing together. Rentier is struggling actually, but we don't really have anyone to bring on for him. Katona's not having the best of games either. Pushkash isn't having an amazing game. It's not ideal. We're going to go attacking for the 30-ish minutes that are left. Rentier has picked up the clearance, which, to be fair, wasn't a great one to begin with. This man's name 11. What are my... Rentiera and Pushkash, both between each other, could not decide what they wanted to do, and they've given the ball away. And that was shocking. The man's name is 11. They have a player called 11. Vlek has a throw, finds Versace. Abe, Berliaka finds Rentiera. Carlsberg puts it in the back of the net. We're back in it, boys. Rentiera isn't having the best game of his career. We should consider replacing him. Who do you think we should replace him with? Because we don't have a left back on the bench. Don't really have anyone on the pitch that can actually play left back. Derek can, but do I really want to take the centre back that's playing, my only defender that's playing decently well? Do I want to take him out and play him on the left? I do not. I'm not going to. That sounds like a terrible, terrible idea. We're going to go 4-3-3 because that works occasionally. So why not? Carlsberg can move up front, make Abe a false 9. Carlsberg can be a trequartista. Who is playing poorly? So Katona not having a great game. We're going to bring on Juanaro. Pushkash is having a terrible game, so we're going to bring on Christian Mark. Might as well make a third substitution. Mandira, you're going to come off for Griffin. Technically don't really have a goal scorer on the pitch right now. So what I might do, make you a pressing forward on this side, Trequartista on the other side, and then advance forward, running through the middle. I've told everyone that we're bringing on that we have faith in them. I'm going to chuck a bit of encouragement, fired up, motivated, all that good stuff. We are not doing anything. This is very bad. Okay, so we have a corner. Abe hits across. Derek somehow scores a goal facing in the wrong direction. I will take it, my friends. This is fine. Don't know how he managed it. He flicked it on to himself. Yeah, just did the Chicharito header from like facing the wrong direction, just, back of the net. We scored. I kind of want to get a winner, so I'm going to chuck a bit more encouragement at the lads. Hopefully this will do something. And no, we're going to draw 2-2 against a team that were in terrible form. No excuses for not winning that sort of game. And I'm going to tell Pushkash. Actually, Rentier didn't actually end up having a terrible game. Do you know what? No, I'll just give out to him after. I'll have a word with all the players that struggled in that game. Myself, they deserve a 1-1 giving out. Pushkash did end up actually winning a game, having had a player sent off. Higuis is a player. We've been trying to sign him for a little while. Hopefully we can, if they get relegated, might make it a little bit easier. But Hood Wagner, I think Hood Wagner's form's been really poor recently. So I'm considering. Oh, he did make his international debut as well. In the most recent games, and played against Georgia. Played the full game. Didn't concede a goal. So he's not been our number one choice so far this year because of his struggles. We'll have to see what happens for the remainder of the season. I think we might drop him because he's not been exceptional the last 2 years. But yeah, we will be back in just a second for our game against Shakhtar Solidarsk. Let's see how it goes. We have had our youth intake preview as well. It's not looking good, so I might show you that in a minute. Probably won't. Right, fellas, so we're taking on Shakhtar Solidarsk now. We do need Bear to do us a solid to confirm our place in the next round. We also need to be able to beat Shakhtar Solidarsk, obviously. Might as well show you what the youth intake preview looks like. It's crap. Minimum 2 centre backs that look rather promising. One wide midfielder that looks a great prospect. Sorry, and one of the centre backs is a young Hungarian. So we'll see, but no great players in any singular position. No new wing backs, no full backs. DMs look terrible. Centre midfielders don't look like they're going to be good enough. Attacking midfielders don't look good enough. There are a few good wingers in general. New strikers look like they're going to fall short of the required standard. This is a very poor crop of players, unfortunately. We've increased our youth facilities quite significantly, along with our youth junior coaching and youth recruitment is good. Exceptional academy coaching. Don't know what's after happening. For some reason, we shit the bed. This is a very, very, very different side to what you saw in the last part of the episode. Juanaro is suspended. Kovac is still away on his holidays. Returning tomorrow. Of course he is. So that's not ideal. We also have a couple of friendlies for the January break that we're going to be getting. One of them being Juventus. They have to play us because of Diaz. So jokes on them. We're also giving Tamas Gave an opportunity to sit on the bench. 16-year-old looks pretty decent prospect, so we're going to see what he can do. But for this game, we are starting with Werner in goal because Hood Wagner's annoying me. Ziris and Rentira as our wingbacks. Derek and Christian Mark starting at centre back with Berlaka and Katona in central midfield. Because as I said previously, don't have too many midfielders. I could play Versace. Maybe I'll give Versace a chance instead of Katona. Let's see if we get that. Rosas and Carlsberg as our wide men. Abe and Madeira continue as our strike force. Let's get into the episode. Into the game. This is it's going to be difficult. You wouldn't think that Shakhtar Solidarsk would be that good of a team, but I think they've won the Belarusian league again. Let's go and avenge what happened last time. Pump the fists. I'm going to thrash my arms and tell the strikers, I want goals. Not the best weather. Fantastic. Oh, it's snowing. Or it's been snowing. It's, imagine, not ideal. But yeah, Bayer Leverkusen have already confirmed their place in the next round. Hopefully, our long ball strategy works in this weather, and Madeira has put us 1-up after just shy of 10 minutes, which is fantastic. Madeira has started picking up his goal scoring again since Mendoza picked up his injury. Again, like I said, I don't think the two players can play together, but I wish they could. Abe's picked up an injury. Might just have to leave him play on for a little while to see if it gets any worse than it currently is. It doesn't look like it's too bad at the minute. So we'll just keep a close eye on it. That is very offside. Yeah, okay, he was offside. I was like, I, okay, I missed what Abe's injury is, but it said, from what I could see, it said that he was going to be able to play through it. So I'm not going to worry too much about it right now. Carlsberg could move up front, although Riffin actually did do decently well in a couple of the games that he played since Mendoza picked up his injury. So I'm kind of hoping that he can do it. Oh, Rentier is just absolutely shit the bed there. And again, Shakhtar are offside. Might have been fractionally offside. It looked like he was way offside. Werner is like gliding along the ground. Do we want to see how far offside he was? It looked like he was a mile off. Yeah, fractionally? No, 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 massively. Oh, so Abe's only got a bruised thigh. So that's not the worst injury in the world. But we'll see if he's struggling towards half time. I might just take him off anyway. But Carlsberg, I could move Carlsberg up front. Oh my, no bueno. Like I said, a draw is sufficient today, assuming. Actually, no, a draw is fine. Basel drawing with Bayer Leverkusen, still fine for us. We'd still go through based on the fact that, oh no, Basel took the lead and then instantly conceded again. We jumped to jumped from second to third and then back to second. So I'm guessing they had a goal scored and then conceded instantly. Somehow, Abe wins a header, and their goalkeeper dilly dallies on the ball for a little bit. Rentira's clearance isn't great, but Carlsberg's picked it up. Mandira strays into an offside position, and Carlsberg puts it wide. Because of course he does. Don't really have an awful lot of options on the bench in the attacking positions, but this time we do have a left back on the bench. So if Rentira decides to have a mare of a game today again, we have options. Carlsberg finds Versace, who doesn't often play in central midfield, but when he does, he's not terrible, I guess. Derek with the nice tackle, but he's completely out of position, and Werner just gets away with it. I saw the Basel Bear game pop up for a quick second, and it looked like it was a fairly quick turnaround in goals for both sides. Oh, we've gone bottom now. We have dropped the bottom. No bueno. Okay, we're actually going to make a change. We're going to put Abe out in the wing. For now, give Carlsberg a run in the striking position, but pop Abe as an inside forward on attack, and not going quite according to plan. Rentiera is struggling. Carlsberg's not having a great game. Abe is actually playing decently well. Rosas is true. Basel have taken the lead again against Bayer Leverkusen. This is no bueno. Abe. Oh, Derek puts it in the back. Then his 8th of the season. Derek, you absolute monster beauty, man. Oh, how I love you dearly. There was murmurs of him wanting to leave at the start of this season. I guess he's kind of glad he didn't now. Basel, even though they're beating Bayer Leverkusen at the moment, because we're beating Shakhtar, we do jump ahead of them. And we potentially make it into the next round. Because we've beaten and drawn with them, I think. Yeah, we drew in the first game against them, and then we beat them second time around. Rosas with the cross. Mandira's hit the post. We do have a throw. We're getting close to having to make some substitutions. Abe with the ball at his feet, cuts inside, and puts it wide. It's gone wide. Christian Mark gets to pass the ball to Derek. Carlsberg heads it on. Mandira gets there before anybody, and he has made it 3-1 on the 66th minute. Delightful. Hello there. So I'm going to chuck a bit of praise at the lads. We're going to make changes in the not too distant future. Carlsberg's rating has actually done quite a bit of a nice jump there, up to a 7.1 for that assist, and Mandira applauds himself. He's like, oh, I did a great job there. I did a great, fantastic. We're going to take Abe off. Push Carlsberg back to being a winger. Abe is going to come off for Riffin, who's going to play as a pressing forward. Rentira is having a mare of a game, so Silva's going to come on, play at left back. I'm gonna leave it for now. I don't want to make all my changes in case something happens. So the last thing I want is someone to pick up an injury, and for me to be sitting there going, well, we only have 10 men left on the pitch. Can't do much about it now. We have a corner. Versace takes it. They've actually decided to mark Derek this time. And now they're on the break. They find Amity, but Werner stops the ball. Our 17-year-old. I don't know how this guy isn't a wonder kid. But everything's going fine. They've decided to go more defensive. They do know they need to win this game, right? They are aware that they need to win this game. Right? We're going to pop Versace onto the left wing. We're going to bring on Gavay to make his debut. He wants to be a Carolero. I think not, buddy. We don't play with a Carolero because Caroleros are stupid. They're not stupid. I'm sure somebody likes to play Carolero. I don't. Never gotten a Carolero to work. To be fair, only ever used it a handful of times, and that is an absolute screamer of a goal. The second he got a hold of it, you knew he was going to score because FM things. I just realised that when I was talking about how Carlsberg was doing really well, you couldn't actually see because we're actually blocking both the positions he's played in this game. Ooh, I don't like this. I do not like this. We should probably drop back from positive. We shouldn't have brought on Gavay, but we have, and we're going to die by the sword. Amity. High, wide, very off. Silva's come off the bench and has been less than fantastic, but it looks like we've made it into the next round. Hopefully. Have we? People had written us off a great result. Well done. But is it enough for us to get into the next round? Oh yes, Basel did beat Bayer Leverkusen. But unfortunately, Bayer, not good enough to do the business today. Goal difference 2, 0-0, -2. It was a close group, to be fair. And Abe's out for 11 days, potentially, with a bruised thigh. Gavay makes his debut. Isn't he 15? 16. When did he turn 16? Okay, a couple of months ago. We've qualified for the first knockout round. Get in there, my friends. 520,000 for getting into the next round, or for winning that game. Mandira, man of the match, scored 2 beautiful goals. And we have a balance of over 10.5 million. We're getting into the transfer window soon, where we're going to be bringing in quite a number of players. But as you can see, we have a draw, or a friendly, against Juventus, because they signed a player who, interestingly, has just been put in their B team. No, he's actually playing for their under 20s. He was playing for their B team. I did offer to bring him back on loan. They were like, nah, mate. Like, he would have been, definitely would have gotten first team football with us. But for some reason, they decided against it. So, what are we going to do in the next episode? I think we're going to draw we're going to see who we get in the draw. Arsenal are current holders, but imagine if we could do it next. We come back for the first game after the transfer window closes, which I think is around the Hanvi Pushkash game. Maybe do like second leg, depending on how busy the transfer market is, because we've got some players coming in. We've got some players coming in. We're not spending a huge amount of money actually, but we have got some players leaving as well. Lastra has decided to join Hanvid for 35,000. So interesting to see how that gets on. So we're going to be back at some point in the not too distant future. As I said, probably around the time when the transfer window closes, so we can do a roundup of all the transfers we have done and play a game. So if you have enjoyed this episode, do make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, share with all your friends, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!